Hello there. You're now with me, Cheryl Chamelto, for TVS English News at 5. Let's get to the headlines. 3 crew members of a Gabon-registered tanker were missing after the vessel caught fire off the Malaysian southern coast on Monday. Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency (MMEA) said the search and rescue operation was activated after receiving a report at 4 p.m. on the incident.
The tanker was bound for Singapore from China with 28 crew members on board. 23 crew members were successfully rescued by nearby vessels and the authority personnel deployed during the rescue operation. It was not immediately clear if any of the crew remained on board, and the cause of the incident is still under investigation. In a separate statement, the Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore has identified the vessel as Pablo, and according to shipping databases, the owners could not be located for comment.
The main objective of Malaysian contingent for the 2023 Cambodia SEA Games is to give exposure to young and backup athletes. Youth and Sports Minister Hannah Yeoh said it is to ensure that the country does not lack young talent to perform at a higher level from now on.
She said this at the press conference on contribution and allocations under her ministry today. She also confident that the athletes are able to achieve the target of 40 gold, 37 silver, and 64 bronze medals that she announced on Sunday. Malaysia is represented by 676 athletes, with 440 of them making their debut at the biennial games, will compete in 34 out of 36 sports contested in Cambodia. The 2023 SEA Games are scheduled to take place on May 5th, but some competitions have already started.
Sarawak government intention to establish its own commercial bank marks a significant milestone in the state's financial landscape. A survey was conducted by TVS to gather the opinions of local residents on the benefits of the establishment.
Mahathir Mahrin from Laos said the facility would provide better financial aid for business purposes.
Kami tu sebagai usahawan, mun ada bank di Sarawak tu dipun, macam mana Premier Sarawak kita madah nak, yang salah satu daripada mercu kejayaan lah bagi Sarawak, bagi kami, dan satu kemajuan yang akan menjadi tongkat ataupun tanjung kepada generasi-generasi yang akan datang untuk jadikan Sarawak itu lebih berdaya saing daripada negeri-negeri lain. Untuk sebagai peniaga, kami tu usahawan juga, tapi yalah mun kami diam di Lawas, selalunya nak ada kes-kes masalah, contohnya orang batu bank panjang gila, pasal orang menguruskan dengan urusan dalam bank pun kena buat appointment apa semua, tunggu gig lama. Ni tahu mun ada bank Sarawak tu kelak di ada dekat Lawas kelak nak yang memudahkan orang lain juga. Ya berkaitan dengan menolong usahawan tu, biasanya sidak dapat buat loan lah secara mudah dengan bank Sarawak tu juga. Mun dah Sarawak atau ada bank di pun yang maulah loan Sarawak, insyaAllah dipermudahkan lagi. Semudahan juga lah commercial bank commercial Sarawak tu nya si tinggi interest juga.
Nur Shahidatul Fatiha also supported the proposal and added that not only the banking facility would ease future transaction, but also create more job opportunities.
Bagi kami nyokonglah apa-apa pun yang Premier Sarawak kita pola, di mana memang sepatutnya kita ada bank komersial kita pun lah pakai mudah. Pertama, beri fasiliti lah dengan kawasan-kawasan luar bandar dan juga kawasan Kuching Dimpun, di mana pakai mudah sidak penduduk-penduduk di Sarawak tu nak ngeluar duit apa semualah, especially di kawasan pendalaman. Yang kedua, bila nak nama bank tu buka nak mundah kita nak maulah bank komersial kita pun hopefully nya cover the whole of Sarawak pun area lah. Jadi this year bilanya ditubuhkan tentu memerlukan tenaga pekerja. So hopefully dapat membantu rakyat Sarawak kita tu macam youth tu kita tu banyak graduan universiti daripada accounting, daripada finance semua keluar. Hopefully sedaknya orang dapat pekerjaannya lah dan dapat membantu dari segi ekonomi rakyat Sarawak sendiri.
Muizzuddin Mahzuz, a private sector employee, hopes that the commercial bank can assist those who face financial difficulties, especially small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs.
Ia memudahkan sidak peniaga kecil lah dekat Sarawak tu untuk memulai pinjaman dan sebagainya. Seperti yang kita tahu, macam peniaga bilanya mau buka bisnes macam startup ke apa, benda yang agak rumit lah untuk mula pinjaman dekat bank biasa. Jadi harap dengan adanya orang madah bank Sarawak ni pun tu peminjam ialah bank lebih mudah untuk memberi pinjaman lah kepada peniaga kecil dan sederhana. Harapan kami so that dengan adanya penubuhan tu senanglah sidak peniaga ke ataupun siapa-siapa je lah spesifik peniaga macam orang ngetiknya mau dalam kesusahan ke, contoh teknya tiba-tiba sakit jantung dan sebagainya, pola pinjaman bank dan sebagainya mudahlah sebab since bank tu ditubuhkan oleh negeri Sarawak, jadi harap pihak bank negeri Sarawak tu memudahkan peminjam lah untuk.
Previously, Premier of Sarawak Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Jaharuddin Oping stated that the establishment of the commercial bank would be carried out by this year.
On to the next update. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, raised Asia's economic forecast on Tuesday, driven by China's reopening. It projected the Asia-Pacific region's economy to grow by 4.6% in 2023, up from 3.8% increase last year. However, it warned of risks from persistent inflation and global market volatility driven by Western banking sector woes.
The region will contribute around 70% of global growth this year. But the IMF cut next year's Asian growth forecast by 0.2 of a point to 4.4% and warned of risks to the outlook, such as inflation and a slowing global demand.
Global inflation is easing, but remains stubbornly high, and banking strains in the US and Europe have injected greater uncertainty into an already complex landscape. But against a somber backdrop of a challenging year for the world economy, Asia and Pacific remains a dynamic.
China and India will be key drivers with an expansion of 5.2% and 5.9% respectively, though growth in the rest of Asia is also expected to bottom out in 2023. The IMF also urged central banks in Asia, excluding Japan and China, to keep monetary policy tight to bring down inflation, which could remain stubbornly high due in part to robust domestic demand. Earlier, the latest Chief Economist Outlook report, released by the World Economic Forum WEF, revealed that economists expect both growth and inflation dynamics to vary widely across regions. Similarly, WEF said the most buoyant activity is expected in Asia, with China's reopening expected to drive a significant rebound for the country and to bolster activity across the continent.
The Metropolitan Museum of Art, or the Met, in New York is celebrating both the work and the life of late fashion designer Karl Lagerfeld. Pieces from the famous designer make up this year's exhibit for the museum's Costume Institute. The event gathers megastars from fashion, film and music in a star-studded event arriving in extravagant outfits.
Instantly recognizable in his dark suit, ponytailed white hair and sunglasses look, Lagerfeld was at the helm of some of the brightest named fashion houses in the world, including Chanel and Fendi.
I think that he was a polymath designer, so he was a publisher, a writer, a photographer, a designer, a collector, a connoisseur. He was also a total designer who created everything. And I think ultimately he was this sort of fashion designer impresario that created this blueprint where he merged art and commerce together.
Dressed in a black and white long sleeve off-the-shoulder gown, Malaysian Oscar award-winning actress Tan Sri Michelle Yeoh described the late fashion designer as an inspiration to all aspiring artists.
Well, I think it's very special because, you know, it's an homage to Karl Lagerfeld, and he's such an inspiration to so many of us, especially as an artist, someone who's always innovative, creative, and exciting.
Born in Hamburg in 1933, Lagerfeld made his debut with designer Pierre Balmain as an apprentice. It was after he joined French fashion house Chanel in 1983 that Lagerfeld gained star status, credited with helping jazz up the label founded by Coco Chanel in 1910 and attracting younger clients. He was known for staging lavish shows, building Chanel catwalks amid replicas of a supermarket, casino, and even an airport terminal.
Welcome back. As Sarawakins, we pride ourselves in diversity, showcasing the spirit of unity in apparent spectrums of arts, culture and heritage. In addition to having its own identity, the state also has the potential to explore the amalgamation of indigenous cultures. As such, Business Event Sarawak Strategic Communications Manager Rose Bruce is of the opinion that Sarawak should be a pioneer to promote social and art sustainability across the globe.
People will know Sarawak as the place of culture. We've got the Bidayuh, the Iban, the Orang Ulu. We've got all these food to showcase this hospitality. So why not? I think it's a very good collaboration if we can. And I don't think that, I mean, for me, if you can have a convention, let's say a small-scale convention where we bring in different cultures, not just Sabah and Sarawak, but you can bring other West Malaysian cultures or even Indonesian cultures, and you share that. And then on that conference, for example, or that convention, you show all the dances. You talk about how the dance has evolved from A to B and how we can continue from now onwards so that we can preserve the culture and heritage. It's a really good platform. That's what we do as business events.
She also added that as Sarawak is often associated with traditional arts and culture events, promising a massive turnout in its events. In the long term, it will also attract a pool of international stakeholders with a similar interest to create a global presence besides creating opportunities.
But then eventually people will start to associate Sarawak with traditional arts events. You're going to open up more opportunities for people. You're going to have all these cultural dance and arts associations coming in and more involved in preserving their art. And then eventually experts from around the world, they're going to think, oh, Sarawak is doing this. Like, I want to do something in Sarawak with these people too. So it's more like a long-term plan in order to grow Sarawak as also a cultural art. That is actually part of our mission as well. It's to promote social and cultural sustainability. So it goes beyond just providing jobs for the local people.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headlines anytime, anywhere, just head on to our official website at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media platforms. And that's all the time we have for TVS News at 5. I'm Shal Chameto. Thank you for watching.